Hello everybody, welcome to the Darkside Games finals in this local tournament. We've been doing the different rounds the last couple days and I'm excited to do this final. These are two pretty good players playing Sakazuki, one of the more hyped decks I think going into Nationals. So before we get started though, a couple things. One, thank you so much to these players and Darkside Games for allowing me to record this game and provide some commentary. Check out Darkside Games' website for One Piece TCG singles, and also if you enjoy commentary but you want to see some high-level championship stuff, this weekend is going to be the Osaka One Piece TCG OP06 championships, and I will, as usual, record the commentary of that. So look out for that and subscribe for more if you want to join the Atrocious Pirates, and we'll see what happens. So players are doing the die roll. It looks like the player on the left got to choose first, Josh. So really curious on what he wants to do. I think Sakazuki in the mirror match, do they want to go first? I feel like, I don't play a lot of Sakazuki because I don't have a lot of the cards, but I feel like more often than not, I hear people say that they want to go first in the mirror match rather than second. So drawing their starting hands, we see a quick keep for the player on the left and a quick mulligan for the player on the right. So player on the left here got brand new Hina, Borsalino, Dracul, Mihawk 9-drop, a tech card that we see sometimes in Sakazuki, and then also a Suru. So if they're going first on turn 1, they don't really have much besides leader effect to do, but if they're going second at least, the brand new is a nice card. And so both players got life. Player on the right is going first, going to be using leader effect to trash the brand new and pass it off to the player on the left. Player on the left having the brand new in hand is probably going to play that this turn, and then I would say based off this brand new, either going to be trashing something from this or the Kuzan. I feel like I see Kuzan get trashed a lot in the mirror, so one Kuzan goes to the bin, but going to be using leader effect to get rid of the Dracul Mihawk. So interesting choice there. Now going into the player of the right's 3 Dawn turn. First going to be swinging 6 and countering out with the 2K counter Suru, and then using brand new for the search, and going to be grabbing that Houndblaze. Still has leader effect in this turn, thinking about what they want to trash on this leader effect, because building up your hand is very, very important in this game. So thinking about trashing this one card, maybe thinking differently. They do have the Hina I saw in hand, so maybe trashing the Hina is a good call, and that's what they're going to go with going into player on the left's 4 turn. So 4 Dawn turn, going to be thinking about what they want to play. Going to be swinging 5, maybe playing the Kuzan or pitching the Kuzan. It looks like it's going to be playing that Kuzan, drawing a card right there, then using leader effect to trash a card. You could see the Manchuri go away. The Manchuri doesn't really help you until the late game. I think they have Sabo and Borsalino in the hand, and they are going to trash the Manchuri, going to get a Tashigi. And so now the 5 Dawn turn with the Sakazuki. We'll see how it goes. Going to be using the leader effect on the Sabo right away. We see a couple cards in their hand. Rebecca might be something. We know they have a Houndblaze as well, so Houndblaze could potentially get rid of one of these 2 targets if they want. So going to be minusing on the brand new and then swinging 5 at leader, so you could counter out, but Josh here is going to take this life, and I think it was a meteor, or I'm sorry, a Great Eruption. So Great Eruption could be nice because it allows you to trash a card from the Sakazuki's hand, and it looks like it's going to be an Ice Age, so taking care of that Kuzan, knocking it out there, and I think they're discussing what the better play was in that scenario. So now that Houndblaze is effectively not going to get any power boost, thinking about what they want to do, going to be using the Houndblaze but putting the Hina down anyways just to get rid of that Kuzan, getting that Kuzan to a 0 cost and then getting it out. So one less attacker you really have to worry about for the player on the left as we go into the now 6 Dawn turn for the player on the left. So going to be thinking about what they want to do could use the Sabo or the Borsalino. Going to use the leader effect on the Borsalino. Probably thinking about just getting rid of one of the two. So got all 6 done. Going to first be potentially swinging with Sakazuki. I think they're playing this Sabo down first. Going to be drawing 2. Got a trash 2 now. Did find a Hina. Wouldn't be surprised to see that hit the bin here, but you haven't really seen a Rebecca, so I feel like you probably want to hold the Hina until you see a Rebecca come into hand, and then you can trash the Hina off leader effect. So going to be swinging 6 and getting a 2k counter into Shigi. Life is evened up at 3, and we move into the next turn, starting off with the leader effect with Kuzan, and then swinging 5 and minusing the Sabo. It is going to be a free block on the Sabo, and now with a cost of 4, the Hina is going to swing a raw 5 at the Sakazuki, and they're going to take it, picking up a Suru, and the Borsalino comes down to bottom deck the Sabo. Almost worse than getting KO'd, but you did get a free block out of it before it got bottom deck, so that's always nice. So the player on the left is thinking about what they want to do first. Still no Rebecca, but going to be using Great Eruption to draw a card, minusing the Borsalino and swinging 5 at the Hina. And it's going to be blocked, but the minusing effects is going to put a Borsalino from the left to bottom deck the Borsalino on the right. So board control being a huge thing. You've got a couple of Hinas in hand, so using leader effect to end your turn, pitching the Hina. I think that's a pretty good call, to be honest. And so we go into the player on the right's turn, starting off with a swing of 5, countering out with Borsalino. Now the Sakazuki swinging and minusing the Borsalino, and it looks like after being countered out, it looks like they're going to use that Dracul Mihawk. So both players using 9-cost Mihawks right now in their decks, and going to be passing it off to the left. So left player now going to have to deal with this 9-cost Mihawk. The higher number you go, the harder it is for a player to take advantage and really control the board state. So 9-drop Mihawk being good in this one. And so using leader effect, pitching the 2k to Shigi at first, going to finally be getting a Rebecca. So could be putting down that Rebecca to get a Hina to put down onto the field. You do have one in your hand and one in the trash, and then being able to potentially do some shenanigans after that. The Hina would put the Dracul Mihawk down to 4, and then the leader effect could get it to 3, but I think that number is just a little bit too far away. So going to be starting out swinging 5 at life, and I think minusing the Hina. So using Hina, minusing 4 on a character, and thinking about what they want to do. Going to be double Hinaing, and then using Rob Lucci to take care of 2 characters. So the double Hina minusing 8 to put the Rob Lucci at 1. The leader effect the leader effect swinging, going to put that Hina to 2, so Rob Lucci takes care of both of them. Very, very good job on that one. So now only thinking about the leader. Prizes are, or I'm sorry, not prizes, this isn't Pokemon. Life is still 2-2. We go into the player on the right's turn, now at 10 Dawn. Going to be ditching the Houndblaze. It's kind of a surprise right there. We saw a one-legged toy soldier in the player on the right's hand. Could be an interesting card. I've seen some lists play more of lists in like OP06. I feel like not so much in OP05, but these players testing the limits. So going to be swinging 6 at lead and taking that one. The Dracul Mihawk coming down to bottom deck the Lucci, but still plenty of characters to swing here. I feel like advantage is somewhat on the player on the left at this point. So going to be thinking about what they want to do. They do have a Suru to minus cost. They have a Rebecca to potentially grab the Hina that they've got over there to minus cost, and a Rob Lucci in hand. So we'll see what they do. First swinging 5 at leader, going to be an easy 1k counter off that brand new, and putting the cost of the Mihawk at 8. Going to be swinging another 5, a Borsalino counter, now swinging 6 at lead. So going to need to either pitch a 2k counter or take the life. They're going to take that. Going to be resting 1 for the Suru, putting it at, I believe, 6 at this point, and then using the Rebecca to find the Hina, playing it over the Suru to -4 cost, and then playing over the Rabluchi with the rest of the 4 Dawn to take out that Mihawk. So a very, very good play for the player on the left. Again, just really controlling the board state at this point, especially after whittling down the hand on counter or swing. So going to see how the player on the right responds. I do know that in the Sakazuki mirror, the advantage can swing in a single turn. So going to be thinking about what they want to do. They are playing that blue Hina. I think it's a 3-drop blue Hina. I think is what it is. I have it on screen for you all. So that's good in drawing cards in the early game, not necessarily in the late game. So using the leader effect to get rid of that Hina and the player on the right, thinking about what they want to do, going to be attaching 2 and swinging 7, it looks like, at one of these Hinas. Thinking about whether they'd rather swing at Hina or life, and it looks like swinging at one and minusing on the others. So with only like, is that 3 cards in hand? Maybe 2 or 3 cards in hand for the player on the left. It's either block or probably give this Hina up. So player on the left really thinking about the math about what they could do with 8 more Dawn here. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it looks like they're just going to block on that one. So the Rebecca comes and it's going to be grabbing the Hina and playing the Hina, and so a Rabluchi comes and takes out the Hina that they minused, as well as the Rabluchi. So still 2 Hinas alive going into the player on the left's turn. I don't know if that's enough for game, but you've got to start trying to build a little bit on here. So thinking about potentially using 3 Dawn to play a Tashigi. At this point, Tashigi could be interesting. You would, oh no, grabbing a Hina to draw the card. And so Rabluchi comes into hand. I don't know if you exactly have enough Dawn, though, to be able to get rid of 2 characters. You could -1 on the Hina to make it a 2. And then Tashigi, I believe, could actually get you to trash the Rabluchi and the Hina, because it would go to a 2-1 in terms of the cost of the 2 characters, Hina and Rabluchi, right? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Tashigi, it's mainly used for the 2k counter. I'm like 90% sure that it's minusing 3 cost, not 2. Nope, just kidding. The Tashigi is actually -2 cost. I just looked it up. So you could only get rid of 1 of the characters with 7 Dawn left in this one. So it may be more advantageous to try to like get rid of the blocker and swing at the Hina. Not 100% sure. You could, it's a little tough of a position. There's also probably a case to try to just get rid of the Hina with the swings, utilize your Dawn to pop the blocker, and eventually probably pop the Hina, because both players are really tight on the hand size. So going to be using leader effect to draw the Dracula Mihawk there, pitching Tashigi. So now with 3 cards, Mihawk, Tashigi, and Lucci, we got to see what this player wants to do. Again, could -1 on one of the characters with the Sakazuki leader on the attack, wherever they decide to go with that. And so they've got a couple different options for minusing after that, or they could just, in my opinion, go more of the aggressive route with the Dawn to try to get the Rebecca popped, and then maybe load up on the Hina to take it out. So got 3 cards in hand. Player on the right. Now, thinking about what they want to do, I believe the swing was at Hina. So it looks like they also have 3 cards in hand. I think one of them is definitely Toy Soldier. I'm really thinking about what they want to do, thinking about the plays that they can make. One of them, I think, is Suru as well. So one-legged Toy Soldier and Suru, I think both 2k counters. So I think really kind of thinking about if they want to pitch a 2k counter on this swing. It would definitely kind of feel bad, though, if you pitch the 2K counter and then all of a sudden they use something like Rob Lucci to get rid of it. So trying to think about what the best decision here is, and it looks like they are going to 2K counter out of it. So swinging another 5 there. It looks like their only 2 other cards are Rebecca and One-Legged Toy Soldier. So going to be thinking about what they want to do. The blue Hina, I'm sorry, there's like 5 different Hinas on field. The blue Hina can't swing this turn. So if another body is going to swing at the Hina, it's just going to be the one that you have to counter out of, which would be all of your counter power, basically. But they haven't committed any Dawn yet, so I wonder if they're thinking about, like, because the leader effect could be one there. And so using One-Legged Toy Soldier and the Rebecca block to get out of there. Now 7 Dawn, we'll see exactly what they want to do. The -1 effect could have been either on the Rob Lucci or the Hina. Again, I'm not 100% sure which one, but it looks like they're going to be resting to play the Rob Lucci now and take the knockout on the Hina. So a lot of resources were committed to keeping that Hina alive. So definitely kind of feels a little bad, but you've got 3 Dawn now, and I think they're probably just going to pass the turn off to the player on the right, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So 2 cards now in hand, 1 Rob Lucci and 1 life, 1-1 on life, going to be pitching a Kuzan that I think they drew for turn. So now with 3 cards in the hand, it's Rebecca, Toy Soldier, and a mystery card going to be attaching to Rob Lucci, swinging 8 at the leader. So Houndblaze is going to pick up a card, and it looks like they're just going to swing into game. The player on the right just taking the game there. Not a lot of blockers coming in for the player on the left. So excellent job to the player on the right. I mean, I felt like it was tight the whole way, and I thought player on the left had advantage, but just dwindling down life every so often, just more than enough, and getting 1 character to stick was perfect math. So even though the Houndblaze trigger got to pick up another card, just not enough. So that's going to be it for this video, as I think they only played 1 game. I know that the next video, I'll give you a sneak peek. The next games that will come up on the channel, looks like they're like walking back the math here. They do end up playing a purple Luffy versus red Luffy starter deck. So definitely one to come back for if you're excited about that one. I know somebody, I think a couple weeks ago, made a video, I can't remember who, on the red starter deck Luffy, and I don't know how similar it is to that, but that'll be a curious one to see. Thank you again so much for watching, and these players for allowing me to record, in Darkside for allowing me to record at this place. Appreciate you and hope to see you again soon. Bye.